All right, so I had a near-death experience this past week, and I want to share that with my co-hosts who are back off suspension. Kristen Elanius, Damian Dunn. Hello, friends.
I prefer the IR, but okay.
These two were suspended for dead air. I reviewed an episode from October of 2024. And both of them had some dead air, and so they served their suspension over the last couple of weeks.
I got those PEDs you mailed me too, so we should be clear now.
Speaking of PEDs and performing, it relates to almost dying this week. I was in Chicago presenting at one of our partners, and first thing in the morning presentation. The night before, went out with the fellas, So you wake up not feeling perfect, right? Nothing crazy, nothing irresponsible. You just don't feel great. Kristen, you know this feeling?
This feels like a Toba Keith song. Rest in peace.
Yes. Great troubadour. Toby Keith. Dave, you know the feeling?
I'm associated with that feeling, yes.
And so, again, it's nothing terribly irresponsible. Just you don't feel great. And so, pouring hot coffee to get your caffeine in the right place on top of that belly doesn't feel great. So what did I do? I grabbed a beverage I've never had in my entire life. Oh, no. A Celsius. Because I thought the light fruitness of it all, it was like peachy, buzzy peach or something like that. And so it's 200 milligrams of caffeine, and which isn't terrible compared to all the other caffeine I take. I'm like, I'll be fine. So I drink it, and then I present, and it put Miguel in its heyday to shame. I was higher than a kite. I was 10,000 miles an hour. I got done, went back to the hotel to get some work done, and collapsed. Not like my heart stopped, but just the come down was brutal. So anyway, lesson, that's not the near-death experience. I'll get there, but needless to say, Celsius is not for me.
This week's show sponsored by Celsius.
Who drinks Celsius? I mean, is that a fair question? Or is it the kids, or who's drinking the Celsius?
My son had a little Celsius habit there for a hot minute, and we cut that off.
Jeez. All right, so I think the Canadians tried to kill me this week. I was in the greater Chicagoland area, and for those that don't know, there are Canadian wildfires. And the smoke from said wildfires are covering a lot of the northern United States. And the air quality index, the AQI, as a lot of people call it in the biz, is a scale from 0 to 500, indicating the quality of how dangerous the air is. Anywhere from hard for at-risk people all the way up to stone cold hazardous. And then there was a lot of talk. It's like being out there for a minute. It's like smoking 7 cigarettes, all sorts of these little things. So Dame, you asked me before the show if we had smoke down our way, which means you have smoke your way. What is your AQI at its worst in the last couple of days?
I just checked. Right now it is 385.
Okay, that's terrible. Yep. That is as bad as probably it's ever been for you.
It's got to be close.
Kristen, have you checked your AQI?
I haven't, but I would imagine it's pretty close to Dame's. I know they were talking about how places in northern Indiana and Michigan yesterday had the worst air quality in the world.
Well, here's the thing, friends. I was in the belly of the beast. My AQI yesterday at one point, on a scale of 0 to 500, was 919.
What?
I'm not kidding. In fact, I took a picture of the... I took a picture of the weather cast that was happening where I was. 919. You walk outside, it instantly smells like a campfire in which you're burning wood you shouldn't have burned. And it's thick, your eyes burn. It was awful. I almost We were supposed to go to Top Golf last night. Top Golf closed because they didn't want to kill everyone.
Yeah.
Fair.
Anywho, thanks, Canada. I hope everyone in Canada is okay. I mean, we're all like, oh, us Americans are dying. But then what about Canada?
Yeah, I'm hoping this isn't
scary.
Like the Europeans complaining about heat in Europe and then coming over here and experiencing it. What if there's some correlation to us complaining about smoke and then not really being all that serious?
I was there with our colleague Chad, and we saw numerous people outside smoking cigarettes in the 919. I was like, just save money and just take a deep inhale. You'll be all right.
Could have just gotten a straw from McDonald's and sucked through that and probably gotten the same effect.
Good news is, apparently, allegedly, the forecast says that all the smoke will move out before the World Cup final at 3 p.m. in East Rutherford, New Jersey.
Sure.
Which would have been bad.
I mean, what are the chances of that really happening?
I don't know. I'm looking forward to that. Hello, everyone. We've been, I've been here. These two have been suspended for cause.
Sorry.
It's good to have them back. The topic this week is from an email. We got a lot to do, a lot to accomplish. And Jeremiah, we do not have a lot of time to have a 3-hour podcast, Boss Hog of Liberty, in 3, 2, 1. This week on the Pete the Planner Show, we answer your money questions. Here's how the show works. You email us, askpete@petetheplanner.com. That's askpete@petetheplanner.com. And here's what will happen. What's going to happen today is we're going to read the email and we're all going to weigh in on it. I use the plural, meaning there are other people here. One of them is Kristen Elanius. Hello, Kristen.
Hello, Pete.
And Damian Dunn, no relation. Hello, Dame.
Good day, Pete.
Friends, we got an email from Pepe, longtime listener Pepe, who also was on the old version of the podcast in which I would welcome guests onto the show. I would talk to them and we would figure out on what day in their life they would become a millionaire. It was called, what do we call it? $1 Million Day or something like that. But anyway, he's a longtime guest. He sent an email and here we go. Dear Kristen and co. Well, it happened. I got taken by clickbait. My browser at work, I'd appreciate this if we could keep this between us and not inform my employer, popped up an article about the minimum household income to live comfortably from CNBC. It says that a family of 4 in Indiana in 2025 needs to be at $220,230. We have the 4th member of our household due to join us on September 3rd. Is this really the income we need to be comfortable? They defined comfortable as MIT's standard living wage, which, by the way, time out. This show loves that calculator. We've used it for years. I don't know if we still love it after this here survey, but here we go. Plus regular retirement and college savings, supporting hobbies and travel. This seemed wildly off from what most people would define as a middle-class lifestyle, so I checked MIT. They are at $123,497 as a living wage for a family of 4 with 2 working adults. If college, retirement, and vacations and hobbies are all on top of this, what wage do you think makes a comfortable middle-class lifestyle? For comparison, I've made between $100,000 and $170,000 American dollars. That's $100,000 and $170,000, I should say, the last 5 years. And my wife is a teacher making $55,000. It feels like we have to make any more than a comfortable wage. It feels like we make way more than a comfortable wage. Is that right? Can we afford to skip Disney and a golf habit? Can we afford a trip? I can't read, guys. Is there a realistic plan to save enough to send 2 kids to college? Blah, 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 blah. Pepe. Kristen, when I saw this come across, I saw $220,000. That's a lot of money.
It is. I have really, really, really big thoughts about this entire thing.
Okay, can I just say, Dame, with no offense to you, I chose this topic because I knew it would trigger Kristen like 10 ways to Sunday.
Yeah, I was looking forward to just letting her run with the show essentially today.
Yeah, have at it, Queen. What do we got?
I don't know that really works because you guys, my whole thing is just like, it's so ridiculous. I don't know what more you want me to say about it. Like, it's out of touch. It's irresponsible. I'm really upset with CNBC at this time.
Wow. Okay. Well, maybe let's start with MIT's living wage calculator just to root us in something that we generally rely on, and Pepe helped with some numbers. Dame, do you want to give the people a little bit of a flavor of what it is?
Yeah, it's a great website. You can go out there. You can find, actually, it goes down to your county and where you reside. And it gives you an idea of what it's going to take just to make sure you've got a living wage going on. I'm clicking on mine right now. Different categories: 1 adult, 2 adults, 2 adults both working, and then a number of kids, to figure out living wage, poverty wage, what the minimum wage is. And it's just a good baseline for you to check out where you stack up.
I'm actually going to pull up mine right now because I think I love this tool. I reference it all the time. Kristen, you are an academic, and this is an academic tool. What do you? I would love to. Do you like this as much as Dame and I do?
I do. I actually really like it. It's what came after it that really upset me. But yes, I really like the living wage calculator.
All right. So I'm checking mine. Living wage for Hamilton County, Indiana. 2 children, 2 adults, 1 working. What in the world? That can't be right. Where do we go? 2,000 hours? Is that what we say? Or is it 2080? 2080 is what it is. All right, here we go. Says the living wage is $91,852 for a household income, 1 worker, 4 people in the household in Hamilton County. That seems low. Where's Pepe live?
Low.
Well, he's got 2 kids in his calculation.
I have 2 kids in my calculation. And I got, maybe it's because he got 2 adults working.
2 adults both working. Yeah, that changes it. That goes up.
Yeah,
wait.
I don't know.
Because of childcare? Why does that in?
Maybe that's why it goes up, because you have to pay for childcare because both adults are working.
Yep, because if you scroll down, the typical expenses on MIT's page says childcare is 0 when there's only 1 working adult in that household. But when you go to 2, 13,900, 24. I'm looking at my county, 13,900 per year for 1 child, then 24,700 for 2, and 32,700 for 3 kids is what you would have for an annual expense for childcare.
I think this is an interesting calculator for anyone to go to. Livingwage.mit, that's in Massachusetts Institute of Technology.edu, and just play around with it a little bit. If you're in leadership at a company, it can help you understand the cost of what your employees deal with. I think for large organizations, it helps them understand where they can put facilities and locations and plants. So like what's a good cost of living. But back to the CNBC survey that says in Indiana, you need to make $220,000. I'm just really struggling with that number. So Kristen, I'm with you. I believe that CNBC is trading in clickbait on a major way by trying to convince a Hoosier that they need $220,000 to live comfortably in the state of Indiana.
It feels like the article was written by Gen Z because they specifically call out hobbies and travel. And I just feel like that's a Gen Z thing.
Is someone banging something in one of your backgrounds? Is it your son, Dane?
Or... No. It's the tail on one of the dogs, isn't it? They're very happy right now. Somebody got treats?
Yes. No, and because I'm laughing, it's getting worse.
Wait, so you're laughing and your joy's transitioning into your dog's joy, and then it's smacking its tail across something.
On the wood floor, yeah.
Wow.
My bad.
Very cute.
Unbelievable. You don't have to make $220,000 to have that much joy when you've got a dog like Mojito.
True.
Is it Mojito?
Yeah, it was Mojito.
All right. So, Kristen, I think you're spot on. Vacations being such a prominent aspect of this, and the hobbies as well. I also think comfort in general is so relative. Because if you grew up in comfort, then you want more comfort. If you grew up in no comfort, then your higher standard of comfort is lower than most, right? It is so relative. So what we're going to do here on the episode today, we're going to find our own numbers, what we really think comfortable is. We're also going to go through the findings. We're going to talk about what states are said to be the most expensive. And I'll be honest, I was shocked what the top one was. I thought it was going to be 2 other states, then it ended up being a different one. And we'll talk about the cheapest place to live, which you all know is Alabama. All right. So what we're going to do after the break, Dame, that wasn't a joke because it is always the cheapest place to live.
Is it?
Is it not? Oh,
We'll
it's
find
not.
out.
Oh boy, that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bammy. All right, all that's next right here on the Pete the Planner Show. I'm Pete the Planner. This week's program, this portion of the program specifically, is brought to you by NeighborServe. You heard the CEO of NeighborServe on the show last week, Dan Hanrahan, and you heard why I love NeighborServe. Because if I don't keep my house up, then eventually I'm going to pay for it in the end. Your home is your biggest expense. It is the thing that you call your biggest investment, but most people don't treat it that way. So you've got to know who to trust, the local pros that will come in and keep your house up to standard. That's what it's about. So visit neighborserve.com/Pete. That's neighborserve.com/Pete to learn more and receive 1 free month of Home Concierge by NeighborServe, which is the program I personally use and pay for. And it just helps me know what project is next and how to have essentially a home manager, a house manager for my home. That's neighborserve.com/Pete. Kristen went to the fair. Kristen?
Yes.
So you went to the fair when you were on suspension last week. What kind of fair are we talking here? Like a Renaissance fair, a Ren fair?
Yes.
Ooh.
The St. Joe County 4-H fair.
Okay, so I'm already glad I did not let you talk about this in pre-show because I did not occur to me this would be a 4-H fair.
Yes.
Dane, when you know she said the fair and she was at the fair all week, did you know it was 4-H?
Sure did.
We're going to play a speed round here on the show is, can you two collectively name all 4 of the H's? So we're going to start with Dame. You go first. What does the first H in 4-H stand for?
Boy. Horses.
That is a good guess, but that is wrong. Kristen?
You pledge your head to clearer thinking, Peter Dunn.
Did you Google this?
I did not.
I thought she was going to say heifers. She said head.
Okay, so I'm going to guess heart is another one.
To greater loyalty.
Mm-hmm.
Back to Kristen.
My health.
To better living. And Dame.
Hops for the wonderful beer that they brew.
No.
Your hands to greater service.
Oh.
For your club, your community, your country, but most importantly, Damien, your world.
Something tells me Kristen has a number of 4-H ribbons.
I was a 9-year 4-H member. I did not do 10 years, but it's a big deal in our household and in our circle.
Is anyone else bothered that one of the H's is not husbandry?
No.
No.
All right. So Kristen, you go to the fair. Did you show any? I don't. I've never been. So what happens?
Ever?
No, we have indoor plumbing. What happens at a 4-H fair? I feel like there's rabbits. Are there rabbits?
Yes, there are.
And what do the rabbits do? They like a little show, a little slap and tickle. What are they doing there?
There is a show for the rabbits, yes. And then they sit in their cages so that people, spectators who are willing to go out in the elements can walk by and see what show rabbits look like.
My wife, Mrs. Planner, used to show rabbits at the 4-H fair when she was a kid. And her most disturbing memory of that is next to the bunny barn, there was a food cart that sold bunny burgers. And that is a disturbing thought. So at your fair, are there bunny burgers?
No, I don't think so.
And you almost acquired some animals at fair?
Yeah, at the livestock auction, I really wanted a pair of ducks, but
okay, Dame, do you know what a pair?
Said no.
He said no. On what basis did he say no?
He said no because there's not space set up for them, which just feels like semantics to me.
Dame, if you bought a bird, wouldn't it just fly off and you lose your money?
I was going to say the airspace. Is that what he's worried about? He doesn't have a tower control situation going on there?
No, they have to have somewhere secure to go. There's predators.
Like the county assessor?
Yes.
How much? Okay, can I guess how much a pair of ducks cost?
Yes. I think I remember that. Well, I mean, you can, but
Okay, a pair of ducks, $60 for a pair of ducks.
I think they were 100
Each or for the pair?
for the pair, I think is like what the average was. But then grand champion animals go for more, or like 10-year 4-H members, people will pay more for their animals to support whatever their next endeavor is. But I think it was like $100.
Dame, you a big 4-H guy? I mean, I assume you probably showed like a pigeon or something.
Showed nothing. I was allergic to every single one of those animals, hay, straw, dust. It was not a fun place for me to be.
Dame and I, once again, remain on the same side of an issue. I love it. All right. Anything else about your fair, Kristen, that people should know about?
I feel like you don't know anything about it. So how would you know what to ask?
Are there fancy chickens?
I don't like the chickens, so I couldn't tell you anything about them.
So the point of the fair is it's to raise money by buying people's animals.
The point of 4-H is to teach kids life skills. It's not just about animals. There's projects too. They can take projects there's all sorts of like home like projects, like you can do crafts and things. I lobbied that there should be a budgeting project, but apparently you make those decisions at the state level. But then, yes, of course, the animals are, for our family, the big part of it.
Is there AI involved with 4-H?
Probably not yet, no.
Let's go back to the show in 3, 2, 1. Back on the Pete the Planner show, received an email this week that one of our listeners very concerned that they read an article on CNBC, which actually came from the website smartasset.com, their annual Living Comfortably survey, which suggested that it costs $220,000 to live comfortably in the state of Indiana. $220,000 of household income to live comfortably in the state of Indiana. Kristen says it's patently ridiculous and is offended because she sources her meat at local fairs. And Damien, what, Kristen? No?
I do not. No, you still have so much to learn. Please go on.
Kristen goes to local 4-H fairs and buys protein on discount. Is this not correct?
That's actually not true. They're usually more expensive at the fair. Please, back to MIT.
Dame, I don't think I've got your, what do you think? 220, comfortable in Indiana. It seems high, right?
Yeah, it seems high. I mean, I'm trying to scroll through the living wage calculator, and I mean, if you've got kids, it assumes childcare. It doesn't give a break, but like, okay, you're not paying for this anymore. So you can subtract a good chunk of that out for families that have kids but may not have childcare at that point. But beyond that, I mean, if we just start deconstructing this a little bit on, okay, here's the wage that it's going to take, and then what's a retirement contribution going to look like, whether it's between 1, 2, however many people. I mean, we start to get a huge margin for what comfortable looks like. You can live very, very comfortable or just getting by. But goodness, I think these numbers are way off.
I do too. All right. Well, let's look at the big cities. I'm actually going to go cities now instead of specific states, but I'll go big cities. I found the latest numbers from Smart Asset.
I know we often we try and find things, or we see things that make us doubt the veracity of the piece that we're talking about. This one particularly from Smart Asset. If you scroll all the way to the bottom of that article, they give credit for the photo. Did you see who they gave credit to the photo for?
Are you talking about the one I just sent through?
Uh-huh.
No, who was it?
Grok.
So you're saying this may not be the highest and best?
I mean, it's done by a CFP.
It was written by a CFP.
Yeah. And so I think there's some academic rigor put towards this, but I don't know.
There's a couple different things. Do you guys want to do states or cities? What is better for you? Because I have both.
I think cities is more fun.
All right. Okay. So let's go top 10 lowest salaries needed to live comfortably in the United States. Number 1 lowest salary is, Kristen, you want to guess?
The salary itself or the city?
Oh, thankfully, I'm not the only one who's confused.
You're going to name the city, and then I'll tell you the salary.
Okay.
You name the city in which you need the lowest amount of the salary to live comfortably. What is the city?
Oh, my goodness.
If you can name any in the bottom 5, then you win here. Take a swing.
Charleston, West Virginia.
Charleston, West Virginia is not on the list. Kristen?
Well, because that's a major city,
that's
right?
the capital. But I good luck coming up with any other city in West Virginia.
This was a bad game. I'm sorry. We've misled you.
Should have gone with states.
San Antonio, Texas.
What?
Oh, really?
$83,000 is what's needed for a single adult. Salary needed for a working family of 4 is $192,000 of the major cities. I still think that's a ridiculous number.
I do too.
Yes.
There's one that always pops up. Fort Wayne, Indiana becomes like one of the most affordable places to live. Is Fort Wayne on this list?
It is number 10, actually.
Okay.
But this is so
$300,000. Is that what you're going to tell me?
Not far, pal. $233,000 is what it takes to live comfortably in Fort Wayne, Indiana, according to, we're naming names. Who wrote this thing? Jacqueline DeJohn, CFP, for Jacqueline. Smart Asset. I'm sorry, Jacqueline, but come on.
That's okay, but we're right back to comfort. Because I'm sorry, but then you mean to suggest the median income in the state of Indiana is somewhere between 70 and 75,000, I think.
Right now it says median household income in Fort Wayne is 61,436, but in order to live comfortably, you have to make 233,000.
Correct. So you're only making 25% of what it takes to be comfortable.
Dave, I want to go back to your point here. Is we are often critical of these stories and these sort of things.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't even pass the sniff test.
If we take if I go back to MIT's calculator, 2 working adults, 2 kids, $110,000. Now that doesn't count a bunch of the stuff that Pepe was identifying, which was, savings for retirement and hobbies and vacations, college savings. It's still $100,000 delta between what MIT's living wage calculator says and what you have to save to be comfortable. We talk about what it takes, what the target should be for retirement savings all the time. Kristen, that percentage is
that you should be saving.
Yeah, that you target for saving 12 to 15%. Okay, let's just call it $100,000 that it takes to live there. $15,000. We've still got $85,000 to save for college, go on vacations, hobbies. Is a private jet in this calculation too? I'm not sure where all these dollars are going.
Just Hamilton County.
It's so your kids can play travel sports.
Wow, gosh, what do you? Anyway, do you think? I don't know how this show turned into being uber critical of this article, but this is where we are, and I'm okay living in it
because it's ridiculous.
Okay, I have 2 thoughts here. Number 1. This is as arguably irresponsible as TikTok financial advice.
Ooh. Yeah. There's somebody starting to make a comeback on TikTok for financial advice recently, I've seen.
Second, what is the point of this article? I write, and I write an article and I think, what do I want people to think or feel or do afterwards? If I'm this person putting this piece together, all this One could argue. All this person wants is the click.
Oh, yeah.
The point of this article is clearly for 90% of the population who's making less than the comfortable wage to feel like they're never going to be comfortable.
How is that helpful?
It's not at all helpful. It's irresponsible.
How can you be a personal finance expert or writer or whatever you are, and the point is just to make people feel bad?
I don't know.
I will agree with one number here. New York City. Okay. I'm just going to go to the single working adult, okay, to live comfortably in New York City. $158,954. Knowing enough people who live there, I would note, seems about right.
Really?
Yeah. Median household income is $81,000. But to live in New York and to live comfortably, based on a cost of housing alone, $158,000 feels right to me.
But that's my problem is people are doing it. People are living off of 80,000. You just said that.
But they're not living comfortably in New York City.
Maybe
I said that's the median household. Well, we're going to have to argue about this when we come back from the break. All right. So, do you really need $220,000 to live comfortably in the state of Indiana? No. It's an absurd assertion. But we will give our numbers when we come back. That's next on the Pete the Planner Show. I'm Pete the Planner. This show has gone a wildly different direction than I thought it would go.
I knew this is where I was going to land. It was a matter of whether you let it go there.
No, Dame really triggered something in me though, because I think it's a really good point. Because we'll talk about these sorts of things and have games with them, but at some point in time, you have to say, "Yeah, this is content, but is it stupid?" And the answer is yeah. I put my work out there. People call this show stupid. People call my articles, they never call them stupid. But some stuff is bad. This makes no sense.
Damien's hunting for something. He has a hypothesis. Nope, and I'm very curious.
Nope.
I know what you were doing.
Okay. Yeah.
You were looking up this person, weren't you? I was 100% going to do the same thing. That I felt bad and I thought I would never do that. Then I saw your face and I knew you were doing that.
Yeah.
Do you feel validated?
I don't think it does anybody any good to talk about it on this program in between issues or segments or anything like that. But one of my suspicions was confirmed.
I don't need a Celsius now. Kristen, have you had a Celsius?
No. I don't think so.
It was Dame, you both. It was one of those presentations where I got done and I blacked out. I had no idea what I just said for the previous 45 minutes. Needless to say, it was a wildly high stakes presentation.
I was going to say, here's to hoping this wasn't like the episode of the year that our COO tried to listen to. She just had a TIA.
Yeah, don't tell her that this is happening. No, it ended up great. It was lovely, but I was overconfident.
Were the coworkers that were there with you, were their eyes getting bigger the longer you talked? Could you see them from where you were?
I was keeping an eye on my old reliable, trying to see if he was giving me the. But our other coworker that was with us is the first time he's ever seen this show, if so to speak, right?
Yeah.
He's never seen you do it because he's new.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was a little bit nervous about that too. But whatever. It's good.
Didn't cause him to practice, but he was nervous about it.
Well, I started thinking about it and I got up there and I think I had 10 slides or something. And I think I did all 45 minutes on the first slide.
Yeah.
And here's to hoping that Candace isn't watching any of this.
Guys, there's Vegas rules on this show. What happens on the show stays on this show. Dame, did you have metallic jewelry, middle school, close to high school, either a chain of some sort when you were a boy?
Of course.
What was your choice? What did you do?
Gold rope.
Gold rope. Anything on it? Just straight gold rope.
There may have been like a number at one, like
Yeah.
something like that. I can't remember for sure, but it wouldn't surprise me if I did.
You ever rock the Jesus piece, little Jesus Christ?
Did not.
I had a thin gold rope,
Mhm.
and I would. No, God, I would. The phrase is so terrible. I would swap out charms time to time, pendants from a football and then a basketball.
To a
Anyway, my son texted me last night, and he's like, "I bought a rope." And I was like, "Oh, yeah." And so he got a silver rope, which is a choice.
It's what my TD has too.
A Cuban link. And he was like, I paid a lot for it though. And I was like, well, you don't have money other side out cleaning garbage
Why
cans.
would I say Top Bins hasn't worked out?
Oh, Top Bins is working. They're literally doing it right now. He's like, yeah, it was $30. And I'm like, okay, we're going to have to wash the green off your neck or something here. So.
Totally.
Kristen, the boys that were your age in 8th grade, freshman year, when you were that age, were they rocking the ropes as well in your neck of the woods, so to speak?
I don't really remember, you guys. I remember phases of like charm bracelets and stuff, but I don't remember.
Dame, did you ever do the puka shells with the hemp necklace?
Nope, not my speed.
Yeah, no, me neither. Man, growing up is awkward.
I had a baseball. You said football though. Now that as soon as you said that, I was like, oh yeah, I had a baseball.
Yeah, I think I probably had a cross at some point, but it wasn't like an ironic cross. I was like, it made sense at the time.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead, Dave.
No.
Dave, we're gonna send us a link in Slack based on your research.
No, because it's just me deducing some stuff based off of what I've seen. So
let's finish the show so we can
talk about it.
3, 2, 1. Back on the Pete the Planner show. This show is about. Yeah, here's the thing. We got an email this week from a Hoosier, a shrewd Hoosier, as we assume, making over $200,000 as a household income. Kristen looked at me strange. I said shrewd.
As opposed to barefoot?
Yeah. He makes over $200,000 as a household, but he saw a recent article that said that it takes $220,000 in Indiana to live comfortably. And while the three of us agree that $220,000 as someone in Indiana would give you a comfortable living, we also believe that you can have a comfortable living for a lot less. And we think this flavor of article does nothing but make people feel bad about themselves, because statistically it is very difficult for a household in the state of Indiana to make $220,000, given that the median income is closer to 60. So what you're going to do now is we are going to go out on a limb, each of us, and we're going to give a number. I will say this now. I am the most scared here because I don't want to say something out of touch, and my name's on the show, and so inevitably I'm going to be called an out of touch so-and-so. But live comfortably. What does a family of 4 household income need to make to live comfortably? That is okay, Dame's upset again. This means to be able to go on a vacation that's not just a vacation. Okay. It means to do stuff with your kids, like their activities, save appropriately for college and retirement. But it doesn't mean you have to have the best house in the world. It doesn't mean you have to go to Turks or Caicos. Like,
pick one.
You pick one. Go to Caicos.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Dame, you're going first since you're the oldest. Your birthday's coming up.
I mean, every day that goes by, you can say the same thing.
I know.
Yeah.
That was my show.
I'm going to say, man, comfortable. Great. I mean, I'm going to get suspended again for dead air. I will say 120.
Okay. Now I want to change my answer, but I'm going to because I'm going last.
No,
okay,
commit.
I'll commit. What do you got?
What's interesting is Dame, you and I weren't that far off. I was a little more like round in my number. So I was saying 125.
Oh, jeez.
Pete.
Pete's going.
Mine was
come in
120,
smooth-
122 and a half. I like, it's amazing. I sort of landed right between you guys.
Whatever. What was it?
It was
It
above
was a
150,
buck
wasn't
seven.
it?
Kristen and I will guess what Pete was going to say.
It was over 150 for sure. I knew that before. No?
He was 150.
Oh, okay.
I did some math though. Okay. So I did the same math Dame did. I did 10% off the 150 for retirement. Took you down to 135. Taxed about a third, and everything else sort of out of that nets it down to like 90-ish, right? And then I found myself at about what, 8,500 a month. That's not right. No, it's less. 7,500 a month is what I meant. $7,500 a month take home pay. So that meant their house is likely to be $2,000 a month, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the
Very
rest sort of
simple.
cycles through. What's that?
I don't think that would be what it would be in real life. I said there's your trouble is the 2000, but I don't know. I gave an answer, but my answer still feels out of touch.
Yours feels like it needs to be lower.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I'm trying to reason and data my way into an answer, but saying comfortable is so difficult to put any kind of number to, because who am I to say? And by the way, we're looking at one specific scenario here. If you're retired and you don't have a mortgage, and your idea of retirement is you're going to fish on the same pond 5 days a week, and you're going to stay pretty much within a 30-mile radius of where you live, you need very little.
All right. Well, there it is. The smart asset, smartasset.com survey. Kristen, this flavor of article, personal finance content that gets people upset, like Pepe, who emailed us about it.
Right.
What is a more helpful concept of one of these types of articles? If you're going to rank cities and these sorts of things, would the theory be to change the definition of comfortable to something more measurable, and then to lower the number as low as possible?
I mean, I think the thing that would be the most helpful is to help people understand what comfort means to them, or kind of ground reality in what maybe should be collectively considered comfortable. Because out of the gate, you lost me with vacations are part of comfort. And maybe that's just because of how I grew up and all the biases that I have. But I'm sorry, I just don't think that going on a vacation is something that should equate to comfort. And by the way, life is just generally uncomfortable from time to time. So like, to suggest that you should be able to live comfortably, I think is a ridiculous premise to begin with.
It's the same problem we run into when somebody says, well, this article said that I should have this much saved by the time I'm this age for retirement. Well,
You don't.
who says you don't? I literally talked to somebody this week that felt they were behind on retirement, saving for retirement. But guess what? They had 2 different properties with 3 doors for rentals that were paying for themselves. And I just had to refocus their idea of what retirement looks like for them. If that's what they choose to use as a way of either getting income in retirement or building assets for retirement, you're not going to pull up an app and see that listed in that category that fits in a nice, clean little box. So trying to judge where you're at and where you need to be is a completely independent, individual exercise. And seeing these articles out there just causes more issues than they are worth.
Who knew that, like, where I'd personally land on this thing is how ridiculous these types of articles were? I didn't think I didn't think about the show that much, but I didn't think we'd land there. I will say this does remind me of one of my favorite jokes. That is, someone is wounded and someone is rendering aid to them. They run up and they're like making sure they're stable and like, are you comfortable? And then the person goes, I make a nice living. It's one of my favorite jokes. So good. All right. Well, you're probably fine. I'll give some of the other numbers here. The state which you have to make the most money to be comfortable was Massachusetts.
Surprised me.
I know, me too. 313,747.
You're so close to Martha's Vineyard, though. I mean, you just got to have a secondary house out there.
Hawaii, 294. Sure.
That one makes sense.
The number doesn't.
No, Connecticut,
but
290 for Connecticut. California, 287, a little lower on there than I thought it'd be. In Vermont, 286. Least expensive, MISSISSIPPI for $186,000 to live comfortably in Mississippi. I think the next on the list is Kentucky at $192,000. Let me tell you this. I've spent a tremendous amount of time in Kentucky, and I can tell you, you can live comfortably for a family of four than significantly less than $192,000. Arkansas, $193,000. Alabama, $194,000. And West Virginia, Dame's original guess is $195,000. All right. Speaking of waste of time, let's do waste of money. That's next on the show. I feel like I got a pretty good one this week. And then Dame is back to read the news. I did it last week, and look where that got us. All that is next right here on the Pete the Planner Show. I'm Pete the Planner. So I was at this event in which I was gesticulating widely in front of people on caffeine, and I was telling a story because there was a bunch of interns there from this organization, and so I chose to compliment how well the interns were doing and getting along and being professional. And it reminded me of when I was first year out of college and I won an awards trip based on my performance as a financial advisor. And I got to sit at a table with the CEO of a Fortune 50 company who was theoretically my boss's boss. And it was my first time being at a work event in which there was an open bar.
Oh no.
And I had consumed a few Heinekens because it was a premium lager. And I shared my thoughts on the company's compensation strategy with the CEO of the company.
Good for you.
Oh.
Yeah. Good for you, man.
So I was telling this to Chad on the way back from Chicago today. And so it's me and my buddy who both make it. We're nothing years old. Like we're 22, but we make this trip. It's a big deal. So we're both there. He's probably a couple years older. So I'm talking, the guy's name was Bob Ben Moshe. Bob Ben Moshe. He was the CEO of MetLife. So I realized he's sitting next to him, and I was like, Ben Bob Moshe. Like, I start there. Instead of Bob Ben Moshe, I went Ben Bob Moshe. And then, as it turns out, this is the thing for my life. If I'm drinking alcohol, whether I'm actually intoxicated or not, I tend to slur my words pretty early. I just do. It's why if I'm presenting or something, I never drink at charity events. And I was like, the compensation and program, and I see my friend off to the side, and he's just giving me the shut up. And I honestly don't remember what happened from there, but I can't believe I still had a job.
Well, you don't work for him now.
That's true. I did learn a lesson.
Yeah.
I did. I never did that sort of thing again.
Yeah. I mean, it's part of growing up, Pete.
The interns that I was with last night did not do that. They held it together.
Well, I know what I'm doing for reunion this year.
No, Dame, you got to hold it together. You're going to sit with me and complain about the compensation system?
Exactly.
I got a story for you off the air. All right, let's keep it going. Basically, everybody, hold on. I haven't kept up the comments at all today. Sorry, fam. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. This week's biggest waste of money of the week, right here on the Pete the Planner show, is the Focal Diva Alta Utopia wireless speaker. The ride symbol on Miles Davis's So What sits exposed in the mix, recorded with almost nothing standing between the kit and the microphone. The kind of recording where Focal's new Prism tweeter should let you enjoy hearing its overtones trail off separately from the initial strike. The Prism tweeter, paired with the same dome lineage that's defined the brand's flagship Grand Utopia for 2 decades, debuts on the Diva Alta Utopia. 7 drivers split across the system with a push-push woofers, keeping low in tight rather than smearing at volume. Focus time management aligns every driver, so sound arrives at the listener's ears at the same instant, which appears to be what gives the soundstage its stability and depth. Each unit runs on 600 watts of name amplification, holding control through swings between quiet and loud, useful for orchestral pieces, film scores, or dense modern mixes that compress everything else. The companion Focal and Name app calibrates the system to room acoustics and listens positioned with enough headroom to fill spaces up to 1,300 square feet. It's built to replace a full separate rack component, and all with just 2 boxes. I'd like to imagine the person finished writing this piece and then just took a long drag off a cigarette.
Or stepped outside.
Or stepped outside. Kristen, I like that. Kristen, how much does the Focal Diva, as a diva, much does the Focal Diva Alta Utopia wireless speaker cost a brother?
This is, I hate. This is.
What do you hate?
Just this game.
Okay.
A lot, and that view. Thank you.
Okay.
I don't. This is $5,000.
Okay, Dan?
$10,000.
I mean, if we're playing Prices Right rules, this is easily I can do 5,001. But in the spirit of the game, I'll say $15,000.
$210,000. $210,000. If I know you and you've spent, yes, Kristen?
Well, that's only 1 year of comfortable income in the state of Indiana. So, what a steal.
I mean, in Alabama, you live for $10,000. You spend the $210,000 on this.
I could just bring my favorite band to my house and play live for one night, and then listen to them on headphones for the rest of the year.
True. Who else wants to go listen to Miles Davis's So What and see if they can hear
just the ride symbol?
Just the ride symbol. I'll be listening on the way home. Dane, what's in the news this week?
Well, coincidentally, my first story, how much money do you need to retire comfortably?
Oh, Lord. Who wrote this?
According to a new Schroeder survey, Americans with workplace retirement plans say about this much money.
Oh,
God. This is where I get emails. This is the worst.
The people said this. They pulled the people.
Yes.
Oh, no.
You guys, there's a lot of terrible financial articles out there, and I think we're learning this.
Oh, no.
Come on.
What do the people think they need?
Yep. People with workplace retirement plans, according to this survey, say you need this much money to retire comfortably.
500,000.
Kristen.
I think the people think they need between 1 and 2 million.
That's a wide range. Congratulations. 1.2 million. You managed to catch it. $1.2 million. Small problem. 51% expect to retire with less than $500,000. Including nearly a quarter who expect less than $250,000. That's less of a retirement gap and more of a retirement canyon, possibly with a grocery bill waiting at the bottom. Rising costs are getting the blame. 55% say competing expenses keep them from saving even 10% of their paychecks, while 27%, a number I think is wildly low, have borrowed from their retirement accounts.
Not to try to just pat ourselves on the back, but I'll tell you, it's articles like the one we discussed throughout the entire show today that sneakily contributes to this sort of stuff.
Correct.
by making you think you've got to make all this money so you can buy all this stuff, and then you've just got lifestyle creep, and then you can't retire on $500,000. Which, by the way, I said $500,000 to feel like really down to earth, and I ended up being wrong. I'm not down to earth. Dane, what else is in the news?
America turned the big 250 this year. You might have heard about it. And apparently, the traditional gift is gold, or at least gold colored. The U.S. Mint has begun producing a new $1 coin featuring President Trump's profile. It includes the words liberty and in God we trust, along with the date 1776 to 2026. In reverse features a great seal of the United States. Despite early descriptions, the coin isn't solid gold. It's a gold finish, which feels financially prudent and spiritually on brand. There's one complication. Federal law prohibits living people from appearing on the U.S. currency, but the administration says a law authorizing special designs for America's anniversary gives it the authority. Coin arrives this fall, regardless, giving Trump change an entirely new meaning.
Pete's doing a great job. Everybody's happy with him.
So what's going to happen is like people are going to buy this coin, and then at large, some judge is going to say this isn't legal tender. And then people have these
A collectible that's going to be worth
collectibles.
millions of dollars.
I have no comment. I'm over it.
I have nothing productive to say.
Dame, speaking of the White House, there was a fist fight on the lawn of the White House. And then I also, last week on the show, I told the story of my injury, kickboxing. And I wanted to talk about Krav Maga with you because I know that you are a practitioner. And I was watching my brother-in-law fight the kickboxing, and I was kickboxing, and I'm watching him strike, and he struck with a heart full of violence. And I just let it be known that I was there. I wasn't really hitting that hard.
Yeah.
And I didn't care to hit that hard.
Yeah.
I kind of hard, and I bounced back. And I'm just thinking, when you were out there Krav Maga, I feel like you were there with a full violence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably best that you weren't trying to strike hard. You could really hurt yourself, as you found out just by kicking. I mean, imagine if you'd broken a wrist or something.
I know. What else is in the news?
New Federal Reserve Chair Kevin Warsh went before Congress this week with a message: inflation is not getting a participation trophy. Warsh said the Fed has, quote, no tolerance for persistently elevated inflation, and promised the inflation surge of the past 5 years will become a thing of the past. Well, thank goodness we got somebody with all the answers in there. Recent data offered some encouragement. Annual inflation fell to 3.5% in June, while core inflation dropped to 2.6%. That's progress, although both remain above the Fed's 2% target. What Warsh didn't reveal was whether interest rates will rise, fall, or stay put. So investors are back to their favorite pastime, analyzing every Fed syllable like it's the final clue on Wheel of Fortune.
I did some news hits on this week, and I was just keeping the Kalshi predictions live of what's the Fed decision's going to be. In real time, it went from 68% Fed remains steady rate. The news came out at 8:30 a.m. on inflation, and it shot to 92%. It's now at 95% that it maintains its rate. I'll say this. I think Kevin Warsh is arguably doing a fine job.
Sure.
But I will also say, because one, you got to give him a chance. We can't be so myopic that we're like, I don't like this or that, so he's terrible. I will say, using the phrase inflation will be a thing of the past is intellectually dishonest.
Yeah. Now, I don't have the full context of how he said it, so I'm going to reserve complete judgment, but just those words will be a thing of the past.
What's the point of saying that? His beginning part of his message to me was, we have no tolerance for it. Okay. You can stand behind that. It'll be a thing of the past is promissory and impossible.
Frankly, I'm fine with a little bit of inflation. That's okay. It's not a horrible thing.
How wage growth continues. Yes. Hey, we don't want wage growth. No inflation.
Great.
Gosh, we know everything. I went to liberal arts school. I took a religion class.
I had the chain to prove it.
I know. I wore Jesus piece into world religion. Anyway, let's be done with this whole thing. Kristen, welcome back from being on suspension. And Dame, welcome back from your well-earned week off. All right, everybody else, that's all we have time for this week. So I'm sending good vibes because good vibes are all that's in the budget. I'm Pete the Planner, and this is the Pete the Planner Show. This is one of the things my mom will like somehow randomly listen to this, and she'll call me, what did Kristen do to get suspended? What? And my mother-in-law might listen. She's like, what did that girl do to get suspended? That's what my mother-in-law would say. Good times. Anybody got anything else?
Nope.
Inflation will be a thing of the past. They're going to put a jukebox in the cafeteria. What?
Just see, I can picture him standing in a wagon that he drove into town, talking to the people gathered around with a big old banner on failed behind him. It's just not great.
Mission accomplished. All right, everyone, stay getting money. I was